didn't know what I was going to say to this group of people in Dallas because I had been giving so much hell in so many venues, including telling the doctors that were giving fake notes in Wisconsin and the rabble-rousers walking around the Capitol who were using the Brazilian Vuvuzeleza, whatever those things are, when a 14-year-old was attempting to do the national anthem at a tea party where in front of all of the union protesters, the unions were there to shout her down and to use those things. And so I went up there to introduce Sarah Palin, and I was sort of captivated. The emotionalism overtook me, and I told the people in the surrounding areas who were making the noise and who were the same people who were indulging in getting fake doctor's notes in order to get the government to pay them to take a day off, which was teachers lying and working in collusion with the university professors, which our citizen journalists noticed, but the big ABC, CBS, and NBC satellite trucks didn't notice. But the citizen journalists noticed people dressed in doctors' coats saying, does anybody want a free doctor's note? I'm like, hey, let's film that. And I got one of those things. And so I just started to notice, well, how about how they had graffitied a war memorial in the rotunda and were filmed, not even comprehending that what they did was bad form. I was so sick of it that I told them to go to hell. I said, go to hell. And so people in Hollywood have reached out to me, and I've started to put them together with each other. And they're starting to realize that they need to figure out how to come out of the closet. They do, and they exist there in numbers. And when I'm at CBS during the Wiener thing, and I'm walking through, people tap me and they go, don't tell anyone I'm on the team. So you've got Hollywood, you've got totalitarian light environment there, where there's only one correct, diverse point of view. And then you've got journalism, where there's one politically correct point of view. When Bernie Goldberg, a liberal, says, oh, it's manifestly obvious, Dan Rather told me this, and this is like the guy becomes blackballed for telling the truth. You have to report on corporations, but you better not report on the reporters. And he gets basically blackballed from CBS for reporting on CBS, for telling the truth. And these people say, shh, I'm on your team. I get to pick and choose my battles. Okay, so you've got Hollywood, you've got the mainstream media. Then what next? The college campus. You have to understand that I was an American Studies major, and I didn't study Mark Twain or the Constitution, but I did study the Frankfurt School and a bunch of cultural Marxists, one of whom, Antonio Gramsci, spoke of the long march through the institutions. And that's what happened. In the 1940s, the left came in and said America is not susceptible to the argument that its economic system, capitalism, is wrong. They're not. There's a middle class here. There's an American class work ethic. And everybody thinks that they can rise through the ranks. But these social engineering ingrates who came from the University of Frankfurt, from the Frankfurt School, which is the Hoover Institution for demented leftist freaks, fled Nazi Germany for, I kid you not, Columbia and Santa Monica. And they came here and talked about how they were depressed. They were depressed in Santa Monica. Why don't you get back on the boat and go back to Nazi Germany or Mussolini's Italy, where Theodore Adorno came from? And they said that America was not susceptible like other countries were, where they could go to the peasant class and say, let's have an uprising, let's take on the ownership class. And you could have Marxist-Leninist revolutions, and it would happen like that. It happened like it did in Cuba. But they realized it's not going to happen like that in America. We have to be more mischievous. And they were the ones that devised that America's capitalism could not survive the assault on its checks and balances, and that was its Judeo-Christianity. And they went after the culture, and they said, we're going to go through the institutions one at a time. And when they walked in through the front door, they said, John Wayne, thanks for your work. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here, Jimmy Stewart. And when the left took over Hollywood, they clamped down. They made films that were nihilistic. They made films that sent the message to other people around the world who came here. Arrows coming to the United States, not going the other way like in Marxist countries, to send messages on our satellites that say, America doesn't like America anymore. We don't like each other. We self-hate each other. We're nihilists. Our men aren't men. We're decadent. We're hideous. That's what they planned on doing, and that's what they did. So I believe the Tea Party movement is an existential battle to fight back against the left. And they understand it. That's why they're fighting back so hard. They're fighting back so hard on the issue of race and sexuality and all that type of stuff, because that's the post-structural environment that you're paying $80,000 a year for your kid to come home at Thanksgiving to blame your parents for oppressing the Indians, and that you're to blame for the blankets. You're to blame for the blankets and poisoning the blankets. Your kid goes to class, first day, I love you, Mom. Thanks for that little mini refrigerator, and thanks for the stereo. I love the last 18 years. And they come back and they hate you. It's because they've been indoctrinated. And I was indoctrinated. And then I fell on my head or something. And I decided that I was going to rebel against, how crazy is this? My family and my neighbors. And I said, I'm not going to sit back and watch our country being destroyed from within. And I went to the